But I'm telling you, the Christmas star, who knows, right? Who knows? Nobody was here 800 years ago. All right. So if you are comfortable with keeping your light on while you practice, fine. If you're more comfortable with putting it sort of up on a table, so you're not going to burn your rug down or whatever, that's fine. But let's keep the light on in our practice today. Okay, and then close your eyes. So I love looking at the light of a candle or a fireplace. So I might, in this first part of breathing, keep that soft focus on the flame myself. And get your Ujjayi breath going. This candle is very smoky. So there's kind of this center of the flame, if you will. Think of that like the center of your breath, starting at the base. And you're inhaling, pulling it all the way up, kind of flickering its light or its flames or its brilliance all to your body. I might end up muting you in a moment. But for now, we're good. So we can sense the flame is within us, like pulling from the root of the flame up to the core, up through, sort of filters out wide to the collarbones and up to the crown of the head, up into space. It kind of, mine's really smoky. It's going way up, swirling up. The other thing is to kind of call in a little bit of our theme for 2021, which is fun. 2021 fun, but it's an acronym for F, feel the difference, which is what it was originally going to be, which was one of my very, very first intentions was TriPilates, feel the difference. Feel the difference. Coming to practice here makes for you. There's fun, feel the difference. U is uncover the glow, which has some double meanings. We do sort of in our practices in yoga and in Pilates sense of a glow and energy from within, so that when we walk out into the world off our mat, we bring that kind of glowing lightness to everyone we meet because we've uncovered it from within. I need my phone, 1 second, I left it up there. So take deep Ujjayi breath for a moment.
What's N?
Feel the difference. Hold on, I'm getting there. I have to look something up really quick. Oh. So, and then we know from, especially we've walked the miles with this studio in our yoga practice and our Pilates practice. The N is for never give up. So it's like we go to places in our asanas, like my handstand with my broken wrist. And, it's not as smooth as it can, but I'm not going to give up, right? We can go into our not so easy movements or practices, asanas or movements in Pilates, and we could say, oh, can't do that. Or we can go there with our breath and find the glow, find the difference, feel the difference, find something that's going to energize you to never give up and get there. Like, look at how far you've come. That's the other thing about looking back at 2020. Despite all our hardships, we are here now. So that's it. Feel the difference, uncover the glow, and never give up. So we're gonna have some fun doing it, which is why we're here for yoga. I find it kind of fun to slow down, breathe in, and enjoy, relax, enjoy your practice. And then, last thing here, just as far as an intention, once we feel things in our body, we tend to want to either fight or flight. But what happens if we don't attach an emotion to it? You just let it go, like let your emotions go too. Okay? So you can be more loving about how you're doing the practice. So since you don't have masks on today, we're going to go ahead and Kapalabhati. Okay. So if you'd like to put your feet into Baddha Konasana, you may. Soles of the feet pressing, especially the pinky side of the feet, and using your arms. I got my fingertips behind me to kind of prop myself up more, so I'm not tucking the pelvis. And just begin, let's just do a simple like 50. When we deep exhale, kind of percussive exhales through the back of the throat, out the nose, about 50. Notice what that does, that sharp exhale, to your heart. I don't know if that's going to be good. All right. So I might have you mute in a minute because it keeps going. Whoever's breathing allows this to the camera. All right. Sit in the easy cross. So you've gone from some kind of energetic exhales to me personally, I felt kind of this lightness in my heart, right? Even though it's kind of a very difficult holiday season for many people, won't be together. Not just me, I'm not the only one. Uh-oh, what happened? She logged off. Did you feel a lightness in your heart when you were doing that? Did you feel like your chest lifting?
Oh, I got there.
You can mute yourself, Dave. Just mute it. Can you mute yourself, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go easy cross, alternate nostril breathing. So you take your non-dominant hand. I'm assuming it's your left hand. So we've gone from this energetic breath. Close off that left nostril with your thumb. Deep inhale, let's say for the count of 4. Close it off and hold for 8. Open up that left nostril. Did I do that wrong? Yeah. I was thinking like double of my, oh, you can exhale for 16, great. Sorry. Now inhale through that left nostril, kind of swiftly. Using that lifted heart, close it off, hold it. Exhale through the right, 8. So it's 4, 16, 8. That's hard to do. I don't want you to feel like you're gonna die, okay? So hold it where there might be a moment of and then just relax and then exhale. So inhale through the right nostril, 4. And when you're ready, you can exhale. Swiftly inhale. Hold it. Stay light. Stay brilliant with your breath. Lift your chest, your heart. Feel full. And when you're ready, you can exhale for 8. Switch the cross. So if you're more comfortable doing knee pile or something, you want to do that, that's fine. I just want to be easy on the hips here and focus all about the breath. Let's try your other arm. Try it with your dominant arm. So close off your right nostril with your thumb. Inhale to the left. Close it and hold. And then exhale when you're ready. And keep going. Keeping your right elbow down, right shoulder down. The exhale is such a welcome relief, right? One more round. Like, what is it like to be really full of breath and hold it? So now we can go into, when you're ready, knee pile. Put your right knee over your left, feet are flexed. Doing a couple shoulder shrugs here. And working up through down. Yeah, holding the breath is really emotional for me. I don't know about you guys. I'd be like, what? Like, oh, good. I have to say, it was the most spiritual moment to hold my hand on Craig's chest and realize that there was no more. There was no more. So that was the closest I ever felt to really like a spiritual experience, was through the breath. So, not to be morbid or anything, but thinking of death, let's cross your left arm over your right arm. We'll do some eagle arms. I want to try a little bit of the push-pull idea. So take a huge breath up between your blades, below the blades. It kind of lifts your heart up. And then exhale, reach your elbows out, shoulder blades down. Now take another breath there. And you're going to glide the elbows to the right, but resist with that right elbow. Kind of pull back with that left arm. Now stay over there, take a breath, and you're going to pull it back with that left elbow, but resist with the right one. Do you remember these, girls? Eagle arms with push and pull. Try it again, huge breath. On your exhale, the shoulders are down, but you're pulling the elbows to the right. Resist back with that left outer arm. Keep your head centered, no turning the head. Shoulder blades glide around the rib cage, which spirals around the spine. Take a breath. And then pull it back to the left, resist it with that right arm. So you really get some engagement of the shoulder blades to belly, really. Okay, so now just bring your arms down. We do a couple shoulder shrugs here. Huge breath. Pull the shoulders way up by your ears. Bring the top of the blades toward your spine. Exhaling the middle, tips, and bottoms. So you can do that whole shoulder shrug in one movement. Huge breath. So you feel the top of the blades toward your spine, the middle, and then the tips. Your elbows might come in at the very end. So those shoulder blades actually have this like movement like that. Let's do that one more time. So instead of isolating those 3 points. Top of the blades, middle of the blades, tip of the blades. So when the tip of the blades comes down, those elbows go down, your head stays up. You might feel a little bit of a neck stretch. Okay, so let's actually just take that right leg out for a seated side bend neck stretch, and we'll come back and do the other side. So put your right hand out in front of the right thigh and bring this left arm about, I don't know, 12 inches from the ground, and relax your neck down for just neck stretch. So you're using your right arm so you don't collapse on that whole right side. Roll that right inner thigh into your left arm, right arm. And then reach out with the left fingertips, wrists, forearms, arm, shoulder. Relax your neck down. Keep, you can feel your ribs expand up against your left arm. Now, I don't know what your intention was to let go of or be done with or say goodbye to. But mine has to do with this area, so I'm going to try to bring more breath or light into that area now. So do you know what I'm saying? So in a practice, if you find an area of your body, or maybe it's an emotional thing, like, I really can't, I don't like this neck, so the negative talk that we have, just bring your calming breath to it. And then reach out. Keep dropping your right shoulder down, right ear down, get that huge neck stretch. Take your right hand to the side of your head, and then reach with that left arm, come up, cradle your head coming up. And then we'll switch, this time bringing your left knee on top of right. I just kind of feel that whole left side versus the right side right now. Feels looser. All right, eagle. Bring your right arm on top of your left arm. I'm doing the dance there, Cheryl.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, just take a momentary flicker the candle from the base of the candle up through the crown of the head, and then exhale, reach your elbows out, shoulder blades down. Inhale that breath all the way up between your blades, and then draw the elbows to the left, resist with that right elbow. Take a breath there, and then exhale back to center, resist with the left elbow as you're pulling it back. Just making sure the shoulder blades are going down so you're not straining your neck. So maybe the elbows are a little lower, but reaching out, huge breath. And then exhale, bring the elbows to the left, resist back with that right elbow. You might feel tighter on one side. It's like, That's the other thing. I am going to try to schedule a melt thing. And then exhale, bring it back to the center, resisting with your left elbow. So in that version of eagle arms, you can feel your shoulder blades kind of moving one more than the other. So this one, inhale, both shoulder blades go way up by your ears, and then top of the blade goes toward your spine, the middle, exhaling the tips, keep your head reaching up like that candle flame burning right in front of me. Inhale, lift, exhale, top, middle, and I was having fun there. I was having a little fun there. And then bring this left leg out for neck stretch. So you're propping up just a bit. You're not looking for a big collapse of your chest. Reach this right arm out just for the neck stretch. You can press your left inner thigh into your elbow back at it. If you're not rounding the spine, certainly. Fanning your ribs up into your right arm. Reach your right arm out, the right forearm out, the wrist, the fingers. Spread your fingers, especially that pinky and the thumb. And then relax your neck to the left. Relax your left shoulder blade, left ear. Inhale, expand your ribs on the right. Kind of roll open the shoulder, reach out the whole arm. Relax your neck. Just try to stay more on top of your sit bones so you're not arching your back. Ooh, that was a good one. Oh, take your left hand to your left cheek. And pull yourself up. I forgot to ask if you guys have a strap. If not, it's okay. Grab your roll. We'll do V-abs with a roll. So V-abs is when we want to send the roll a little bit away. Put the roll between your upper inner thighs, really kind of press it down. This is an option if it's hard to straighten your legs. Cradle the base of your skull with those elbows up. And we did those shoulder shrugs and we did eagle arms. So there'll be plenty of space to get the spine between your blades down to the ground. Huge breath in from that lower belly. Pull the ribs up like you're telescoping the ribs up. You might feel the chest rise up by your face. Now squeeze the roll. Hold your breath for a moment. Curl your sit bones up. The sacrum flush. And then reach your elbows up with the tip of your shoulder blades. We're just going to do that for a moment. Keep reaching those inner thighs up. Hold the belly down. Relax the squeeze. We'll do that one more time. So this is standard force yoga, the abs of the roll. Huge breath from that lower hip, from below the belly. Pull it up, up, up. Ribs go up, rising your chest up. Pause your breath. Squeeze the roll, curl the sit bones up. So that's a pelvic opening. You want to open up the front of the hips. No flexing. You want to go up and go up higher. You can come to the tip of your blades higher. Squeeze the roll a second time. Pull the belly straight down and relax the squeeze. Now we're going to stay up. Rest your head for a moment. Huge breath in. Hold your breath, squeeze the roll, exhale, sit bones go up, elbows go up. Now exhale, keep exhaling the legs away from you. Squeeze the roll a second time. Now inhale, glide your ribs along the mat, like pulling back. Your elbows might tip back, but don't go down to, just stay on the tip of the blades. Now stay there, exhale, the legs come back, exhaling, diamond abs, girls. And then pull the belly straight down, and then you can rest your head down. Relax the squeeze, huge breath in. Pause your breath, squeeze the roll, curl the tail, bring your legs away from you on the exhale. So the elbows go up and up and up. Go to the tip of your blades, squeeze the roll second time. Your abs are on, your hips are extended. Extend your hips. Inhale, pull your ribs along the mat, bring your elbows sort of up like you're doing a cobra on your back. Now bring your legs back, exhaling, the belly pulls that back, and then put your head down. I want to do 2 more on your own. How's it going, girls? Huge breath. Squeeze the roll, exhaling, curling up at the same time, reaching your legs away, diamond abs, the tip of the shoulder blades, shake, shake, shake. Inhale, pull your ribs like telescoping along the mat. Try not to get heavy in the blade, just going back. Traction in your neck, let your head be heavy. Exhale the legs back to center. And then relax the hips, last one. I have to stop talking, so I'll do one.
that noise.
Whoop, whoop. Roll to one side. Come up for dolphin. All right, so line it up so you finding your outer arms. I know I got to get my water. I'm going to measure your outer arms. And then place your hands out in front of you. If anything, angle your forearms a little bit wider so you're not rounding your upper arm. Relax your neck. Now press into your whole forearm. Huge breath between your blades. Exhale, knees off floor. Neck relaxed. Reaching your heels and your sit bones as far apart as you can. So when we're doing that push-pull on eagle arms, you can feel those sides of the ribs connecting towards your trunk. Like putting on a backpack. Only difference here, you're doing it at the same time. Huge breath between your blades. And the push-pulls, you're pulling your elbows towards your toes, your heels reach back away from your sit bones. It pulls your ribs forward. Put those diamond abs on board. No neck. I'm just going to stay even on the feet here. If you feel one calf be a little tighter, check out moving your shoulder blade on the opposite side. So in other words, my right calf is a little bit tighter. Might have something to do with my thing that I want to let go of. I'm so done with 2020, right? With time for some fun here. So I'm not going to give up. I'm going to try something and pull my left elbow towards that right toe. See if that calf will go down more. All right, so we're going to play around with the other way. So as you're reaching your chest forward away from your hips and your heels reach down, take another breath between your blades, and you're pulling that left elbow towards your right toe. See if the heel goes down more. So just play around with that, kind of make both even now. A little shaking is good, stirring things up. No neck though. And when you're ready, come on down. Now, I'm going to try something. We tried turbo dog. So for turbo dog, you might really want to turn your hands a little bit wider, just a tiny bit turned out hands. So when you bend your elbows, they go straight. Just do it underneath here for a minute. Your elbows go straight towards each other and down, just hovering on the ground. So there's this like, what I want to say is a push through the wrist joint, but your wrist isn't that flexed, and then out the fingers. Those two arm bones are super important, as I found out when I broke my arm. So press into the wrist side, the thumb side a little bit so the elbows come in. Now relax your neck. So there's a push and then also a pull. Find those knees and kind of pull them towards your wrists or the elbows. Now that might be enough fire into the side ribs, into the belly. Try to keep those elbows in that same spot. If you want to add on, knees off floor. Do not straighten your arms. Keep that turbo dog upper body. So there's this push through the wrist, out the fingers, and the elbows are towards each other. And then reach your heels back, sit bones up. Pull those diamond abs forward through those strong shoulder blades. Notice if one wants to wag out, roll them in.
Well, how about you? I got some flame going in my body. I have to come down. Man, oh man. Torching the flames there. Uh-huh. Nice job, ladies. Did you feel that heat?
Yeah.
Diane, your face is like. Okay. All right. Grab it. All right. Let's stand up in horse. We're going for a little bit of Agni Sara. It's that kind of pumping of the belly, like a beating of a drum. Come down in your horse. Okay. There's kind of a bit of a shoulder shrug here. Take a breath and then press your thighs out, bring your spine up. All right, so kind of stay here. Huge breath. Exhale all your air. Stay empty, pump, pull the belly in and release. And when you need to breathe, relax a little bit. You can stay kind of buoyant around those hip sockets. Press your feet away from each other. Rise your chest up with that breath. Exhale all your air. If your chin is knotted down a little bit, you might feel that belly is like a suction right up through your throat. You okay, Cheryl?
Yeah.
All right. One more slow round of Agni Sara. Relax the squeeze. I'll come up for a second. So there's a very mindful kind of pumping of the abdominals, massaging your belly muscles, even your colon. I want to do this next fast round, and it's kind of flapping of the belly. It's faster than you can even think about it. It's not in, out, in, out, in. You got to just like flap it. All right, so if I was to show you from the side, you might see me wiggle a little bit. So a huge breath in. Exhale completely. And so you're trying to flap that belly in and out without breathing. All right, we'll try that one more time. Oh, you're getting tired, Desha? All right. So this engaging the lower abs and having them sort of do this pumping, it like frees up not just space in your hips, but pulls space up through your trunk, up through your heart, and it warms you up. Exhale completely. Chin relaxed. Oh, and then you can come on up. Nice. We're good?
Yep.
Roll your toes in. We're going to just add in a little bit of a side stretch. Toes are parallel to each other. All right. And then come down. Do you have your block? If you have a block, you can put a block on your right hand. Actually, let's just do this. What I was going to do, take your right hand to your left ankle. Put your left hand on top of it. Relax your neck. We'll just do a side bend. So arcing that whole that goes with our shoulder blade movement, the right shoulder blade. The right elbow goes down, the shoulder blade wraps around and relax your neck. Do try to keep your hip, your right hip back. And you're really just side bending that whole right rib cage towards gravity, relaxing your neck. Towards gravity, a little bit of an arc. It's a nice stretch after all that turbo dog, actually. Sort of hang in the middle for a moment. And then walk your hands to the right ankle with your left hand. Sort of breathe like a fan into that whole left rib cage. And then exhale the elbow towards the floor, pulling toward that right ankle. Stretching all those turbo dog muscles. That might feel totally different on this side. And then center yourself. You can heel toe your feet in. Okay, now I might have to move the angle of this a tiny bit. You can see the wall. There's one that we have not done in like forever and a day, where your arms, you'll back be up against the wall, and your arms are kind of in this goal post, and you move those sort of diagonalized dolphin elbows away from the wall. I'm just turn this just slightly. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, so just come to the wall. So feet are parallel, a little bit away, a little soft bend. No stress, head against the wall, as much as you can get your ribs against the wall. And bring your arms out into where your elbows and your forearms are against the wall. Now that might be lower for some of you, it's fine. Try to get the breath all the way from those lower ribs, full of breath there. Exhale, shoulder blades down. Now keep your hands on the wall and bring your elbows away from the wall. So that seems easy enough, doesn't it? You could play with that, elbows off the wall. This is a cool move, actually. You bring your forearms down and bring them back. Ooh, I like that. The main thing is to keep your blades at the wall. If you feel when your hands are parallel to the ground here, you get more spine between your blades against the wall. When you bring your hands back to the wall, you can feel your blades, but maybe it wants to come off. Now bring your elbows away from the wall. And then bring it back. Bring your elbows away from the wall. And then back. Ooh. Okay, now bring your elbows out in front of you. And then bend your elbows and put your hands on the wall. Oh my goodness. Oh, whoa, there goes my wrist. All right, so try to spread all 5 fingers on each side against the wall. Try to keep between your blades against the wall. Bring your elbows forward so it's almost like you were doing in your ab work. Take a breath, maybe walk your hands up the wall an inch. Keep your elbows in, keep your shoulder blades on the wall. The shoulder blades can move up if you start to bring your hands up higher. See, that's what we need in our handstand. Woo! And bring your elbows down. Oh my goodness, I should have done that with a block between your elbows. We'll do one shoulder stretch to counter that. Can't figure where I am. Okay, so put your right hand on the wall, put your left foot back, and the hand is slightly behind you. So it's be the counter of what we did. So the foot that's forward is the same arm that's on the wall. Take your left hand to your right chest and take a breath there. You were just going the other direction with it. It feels good to give it more time to breathe. Now square that left hip forward. And then you keep your pelvis there and gently keep your right hand on the wall and gently turn your torso, not your right pelvis. Turn your torso and feel the pecs stretch, inhaling. coming into the end of the year, getting rid of tension in the neck and shoulders. I'd have to say that's the biggest thing I've noticed. So you can sort of come back to the wall, take one more breath, and then gently turn away from the wall, but not your right hip. Keep the right hip forward. Warrior one. You could think, okay, now I'm bringing my chest up too, adding a little bit of extension of your middle back. Ooh. And just stand up and feel that whole right side now. Should we do the other side? I think so. Left foot forward, right foot back, warrior one. I'm about 10 inches from the wall. You want space for your shoulder. Take your right hand to your left packs right by your shoulder. Huge breath there. You can even feel the breath going there. Keep your hand glued. Soft elbow if you need to. And gently turn your torso, exhaling away from the wall. Keep your right pelvis forward. So kind of fanning the flames of your breath that go all the way up to your collarbone. You want to add a little bit of that extension. Draw your left hip back too if you have a tendency to sort of overly arch it. So keep both pelvises square like they're magnets. And turn your torso instead. Oh my God, so much better. And with the pelvis more steady, you could bring your chest up and like a telescope. Up and back, up and back. Ease out of that. It's time for some little down dog on the wall. All right. So I'm gonna do down dog on the wall first. Setup is just down dog. You want your heels on the wall. Shoulder blades wide. I'll just demo one. You guys can tell me if I'm 90 degrees. Is that about 90? Probably. So I'm trying to do breath between the blades, ribs soft. Think of what we did with Turbo Dog. Wrapping your shoulder blades around the sides. So that's the movement you need in your shoulder blades to do a handstand. So if handstand is in your practice today, feel free. But I think it's nice to try to practice those Turbo Dog muscles, right? Marissa, yes. Strong, sit bones up, heels reaching back. And then do that little bit of movement like you're pulling your ribs towards your pelvis or up towards the pelvis. Or pelvis away from. Yeah, okay. See, that made your middle back flatter, didn't it, Jill?
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. Whew, we're moving those blades today, aren't we? Never give up on that handstand. So let's go for one more round, maybe three or four breaths. If you want to try a handstand, feel free. I'll get ready for these other ones. I'm just gonna do it one more time. 3 or 4 breaths. Because I want to build, right? Once I let go of what I'm like, my regret from the past this year was really trying to get more of my own practice in. So we can, never give up and just try again. Wrap your elbows around. Try maybe one leg up if you want. Well, that's kind of fun because one leg up, the reaching the leg actually pulls the ribs away from the hips more. Ooh. I'm going to turn my mat. We're going to do some stand at the front of your mat. When you're ready, take your time. Nothing like inversions. Favorite thing to do. All right, I have to angle this back again. That's the only thing. Go for it, Marissa. Nice job. All right, stand at the front of your mat, hands to heart. Now, when you press we're going to use the wall again in a moment. We'll just do one little series here. Press your hands together. Your thumbs are at your sternum, the base of your sternum. Press into your pinky side of the hand. Try to feel where those shoulder blades are. You want to free the shoulder blades and pull your head up like that. This time the flame's coming from the earth. Arches, inner thighs, pelvis, ribs, sternum, collarbones, head. You can feel all that energy from that inversion. Inhale, sit back, chair. Diagonalize elbows like turbo dog. Shoulder blades are down, pulling your chest up, hips down, reach back. Exhale, forward fold. Hands on ankles, monkey, collarbones wide, sit bones back. Hands go flat, step back, plank to ground. Use those shoulder shrug movements. Top of the blades, middle of the blades, tip the blades. Hover, you can do it, and then down you go. Hands go back, find your butt, boat. Inhale. At the end of your inhale, just stay there. Exhale all your air, like we did in a couple of things today. You get empty, you feel your lower abs. So inhale from those low abs. And then exhale, feet off floor. Reach your legs, bring your chest up. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Keep exhaling. Keep reaching your heels. Keep the shoulder blades kind of drawing to your spine. Pull your middle back forward. You can feel your hip bones on the ground, but not your belly pushing in. And then come back down. Pushing your belly in just rounds that lower back. You don't want to round your lower back. You're extending it. Huge breath in. Exhale all your air. Find those low abs. Inhale from those low abs. Come up, chest up. Exhale the legs out. Reach, reach, reach. Grab your butt. Use it or lose it. And then rest back down. Hands under shoulders, toes flex. Now push your hands and toes apart. You can come up kneeling, but try to come up kind of like one piece. Hips up, down dog. Take your take your left foot on the diagonal, step your right foot forward. We're doing warrior one. Arms up. Shoulder blades wide. Get low into that warrior one. Squaring left hip forward. Find that outer left heel. Push your heels apart. You're not sinking low into that right hip. Lift up. Hands go down. If you want to find a little bit of a padding for your knee, we'll do easy twisting lunge. Just doing these two here. I like to put my hand on my hip so I'm not going to move it. Bring your left arm up. Wrap that left shoulder blade or left elbow around. Make a fist. Relax your neck. So there's a little bit of that push-pull that we did in eagle arms. You're pressing your right thigh bone into your elbow and your elbow back at it. Nice and stable so your spine twists. Relax your neck. Shaking is okay. So there's some belly muscles there. Steady your pelvis. And then exhale, twist ribs in. Okay, so now step back to plank. One more round, plank to ground. Lots of shoulder blades today. Take a breath. Top of the blades, middle of the blades. Hover. Hover an inch from the ground. Hover until you can't. How do we do? All right, let's go ahead and do cobra. Bring your hands, let's do low cobra. Bring your arms out in front of you. So when you pull your chest forward, the elbows go in like turbo dog. So they're just hovering on the ground. The wrists are straighter. You're pulling your chest forward. Reach to the crown of the head, not your back of the neck. So the crown of the head. You don't have to lift your chin. Just you're not just letting your head hang, please. It's like the worst thing that we could do right now. I'm taking an extra breath here. Pulling your ribs forward, exhaling down, push back, down dog. Hands and toes push apart. Heels reach back. Feel free to practice your turbo dog here if you like for a moment. Turn your right foot on a diagonal, step your left foot forward. Some much needed relief, arms up. Warrior one. Squaring your right hip forward. So you're kind of buoying into the hips by finding your feet, and the reach of the arms pulls your ribs away from your hips. Your breath. Spreading your hands, I know you can't see it there. Hands go down, we're doing easy twisting lunge. Walking the foot back or your knee forward so your hips are over your right knee and your left knee is over your ankle. Right arm up, twist. Find that push-pull. So that right shoulder blade is resisting that left thigh bone. And then you can garner a little extra twist. Hug those thighs towards each other. What does that do to your twist? We've been doing a lot of like hip stretches, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of feel what the shoulder blades have to say. Relax the neck. Ooh. Unwind. Step back, plank to ground. Perfectly welcome to put your knees down and do it. You still get the same kind of hover using the arms at your shoulder blade. It's a little nicer on the wrist too. All right. You can cobra, or you can feel like low cobra. Cobra, your hands go maybe slightly forward. You're just coming a little further up. And then push back, down dog. All right, so step your right foot forward. And I'm gonna try just jackknife lunge. So you put your right forearm on that right shin and pull yourself forward. Now that back foot, press it down and pull, like we were doing on the wall with your hand, pull forward, doesn't really leave the ground. You're breathing new breath, fan the flames of your left hip flexor. Now for lounge lunge, I like to take my hand a little bit wider and turn it out, this left hand, and then hug your right thigh, fingers around the knee. And it's a little bit of a twist, or it feels like a twist. But it's more of that side arcing, that whole left chest drapes down. Relax your neck, maybe on your left shoulder. This right arm is here to keep your right pelvis, your right thigh in. Ooh. So some basic, but really powerful movements. Step back, down dog, perfectly welcome. I'm going to try my turbo dog. So if I start in down dog and heels reach back and pull my chest forward, when I bend the elbows, the shoulder blades wrap around the sides of the ribs. Your elbows go towards the floor, but towards each other. A little more challenging without moving your hands wider. Woo, baby. Step your left foot forward. Right knee down for jackknife lunge. Take that forearm, pull your sternum forward, press the top of your left foot, especially the big toe side of the foot, right foot, the one that's back there. We have some lunges on the wall coming up. Now the heart happens to be, oh, that was the other side. But the heart happens to be more on that left side, so pull yourself up away from your pelvis. You might even like move the left chest a little bit away from the left knee. So for sure, give that heart on the left a little more space as you lounge lunge. So kind of like a draping down of the whole right side, so my head could just rest on the right shoulder. But have that energy out the leg and turn your torso. So the left hand, it's maybe pulling yourself along that left thigh, not just dangling here. So hopefully you're getting some new light, some new breath into different places today that we haven't thought about in a while. Now unwind. Step back, down dog. Step forward, forward fold. You want a monkey for a moment, you can. Chair. Diagonalize those elbows. And then hands to heart. All right, let's go to the wall for lunge on the wall. And then we'll try camel. So camel is a great back bendy thing without being a back bend. So so if you've got your mat, you fold it in half and then like half like that, and then you fold it in a long, kind of long rectangle. It's a little bit of a finesse. Let's say we start with the right knee down, close to the wall. It's a finesse to keep the mat at the wall and then bring your foot there without it falling off. So I'm gonna use my other foot. Okay, and now bring your left foot forward. Option for this pose is, of course, jackknife lunge. And I apparently really needed this one today because my right foot is already cramping. That's from this tight right hip. So you can take your thumb, if you do have a crampy foot, and massage into it. Those are some of the things I just want to, say be done with. Walk through and bring more intention. So instead of going forward and back, we'll just kind of stay pushing reaching your left hip towards the wall. Then if you feel steady enough, you can keep your left hand on your left thigh, just bring your right arm up or both arms up. It's really up to you. This is nice because it keeps you a little steadier with that left hip. You're still going to get the stretch I'm looking for, which is your breath. The diaphragm lifts your ribs, spreads your ribs. You can also just breathe, holding on to the heel. If your hand is on the heel, your shoulders are back and your chest goes up. You're pushing rather than reaching. So come out of lunge on the wall, put your left knee next to your right one, bring your right one forward to help it around. You want that back foot a little bit wider than your hip, so that left hip can come on the inside of your left foot. Just take your time, slow movements. So opening up the front of the hips, the thighs, makes more space for breath, heart. Woo, baby. So if the hamstring wants to grip or your calf, ease out and then just come back into it with more breath. Adding arms up. Strong right heel. Now we're going to ease out of that. This time have your mat. Fold it in half and then fold it in half again. So it's not that big, long rectangle. It's sort of just more of a rectangle. So I think I'm just going to put it so there's plenty of room for my feet. So camel on the wall. So you want to put your pelvis, first of all, put your pelvis, don't worry about the knees too much. Those hip bones, try to put them at the wall. The top of the feet can be down. You can also do it with your heels tucked, your toes tucked. But I don't know, I feel a little bit more extension in my hips when my toes or my foot is flat. Take your hands to your pelvis, thumbs down, sort of suggesting the tailbone goes down and a little bit towards the wall, so you feel both hip bones at the wall. Now, before you do anything, draw your elbows back. Inhale, pull your chest up the wall. See if you can sense the ribs are growing up the wall like a telescope. And then a little bit of a shoulder shrug. The thumb goes down, suggesting the sacrum down. The elbows go back. Your sternum goes up. There's a little bit of the top of the blade coming towards the spine. Just move that thoracic spine just a little bit. You can keep your chin level. Now come back to the wall. Again, telescope your ribs up. And then exhale, top of the blade towards your spine, maybe the middle, maybe the tips. Keep your pelvis at the wall. Keep going, chest goes up and back. Keep your pelvis at the wall. Just making space for your heart. I think Diane's in heaven here probably. All right, one more time now. You could put your hands back on your feet. I'm not going to today. I don't know, I might. If your foot is down though, it's a longer way to reach your heels. It's shorter to put your foot in a flex position. So we'll just do one more camel. So a little bit of suggesting this sacrum goes down towards the floor, the pelvis stays at the wall. Inhaling your ribs up, a little bit of that shoulder shrug, top, middle, tips. Pelvis stays at the wall, pelvis stays at the wall. You might just reach, you might just not. Come back. Woo! I feel like my whole pelvis would have to come away from the wall to get my hands there. Woo, nice job, guys. Now, I think what I'd really like is to put your mat. We'll do a little unwind against the wall. All right. Have your block, hopefully we find a block nearby, okay? First, you don't need to be feet on the wall or anything. Just do a laying down spinal twist. Arms are out. Actually, just have the block nearby though, because I don't want it to be like archy on your rib cage. So bring both knees up and pull them up closer. You can feel your pelvis lift so that both knees go over to the right armpit. Like get it up into the armpit. Now, once it's there, put the block between your inner legs, your inner thighs. Take your right hand to the outer left thigh, and there's a little bit of a push-pull here. That right shoulder blade stays down, and you press your thigh up into that hand that pulls it down, and then you gently turn your torso to the left. You can play around with the palm up on that left side. Having the block there just makes more space for your SI joint. So when you twist and exhale, the rib stays soft. It's the middle back that's twisting, not the lower back. Taking time to unwind that big thoracic extension on Camel. Exhale, soft ribs. To come out of it, take your left hand across, help that left thigh bone up, then your block, then your right thigh. You can wag back and forth. Have the block over to the left. Pull both knees up. You're rolling your hips up. Take both knees to your left armpit. Whoop. Oh, my shoulder came off. So put the block there. Take your left hand to the outside of that right thigh. You turn your palm up on that right side and gently twist your spine. You might feel completely different on this twist. So if I was there, take your right hand to your right pelvis for a minute and just suggest that you're pulling it down. And then see if you can't twist a little more without. I just have an unstable side. Might feel a little different, needs more breath maybe. So, right hand helps the right thigh bone up, come back in between. You can rock back and forth. Put your feet down and put the block under your sacrum. Sort of lengthwise, sideways. So that when you bring your knees up, you put your hands on your thigh bones, right at this crest where your kneecap is. Fingers are curled. You take a breath and exhale. There's a push-pull. Pull your thighs in your hands back at your thighs. You might feel those hip extensors, those sit bones go up because that sacrum is now flush to the block. Exhale all your air till you feel your tummy. Own it. Release it. Take a breath. And then exhale, push, pull. You might want to give a little more intention to one side. I always have a weaker side, so there's that cross patterns in the body. One more time, so it's probably a weakness of the opposite shoulder, actually. Ooh, shaking on that one. Awesome sauce. All right, come off the block. And you can stretch out Shavasana, or like right now that feels good, my sacrum's down, or you can put your feet up on the wall. So maybe I'll try, because I never do this at home. Or you can just lay down Shavasana. Even if it's comfortable, you want to tense your knees in, that's fine too. But no effort with the legs. In fact, just where you feel some space between your shoulder blades. Breathe into your heart. Notice how it's feeling. Does it still feel tight? Can you expand around the ribs? So somehow tapping into kind of the upper body, close to where the heart is. Releasing some tension by creating some movement. It's a way to bring in something new, like if anything, love for ourselves, care, energy. So when we take care of ourselves, we have more to give others. So it is with that sense of gratitude, to me, which is an action, giving love to ourselves and then sharing it with others, that we can walk through 2020 and whatever is to come in 2021. And when you're ready, you're perfectly welcome to stay there. You're home. Turn to one side. Come up. Here's the heart. Or turbo dog style, hands at your heart. My candle is still lit. So bring the feel the difference in your body, the uncovering the glow this holiday, and never give up because we will get through this. Namaste, guys. Love you.
Namaste. Love you too. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Love you too. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a good one.